What's up, gamers? So, as we're doing a little tutorial on hero story bosses, this shouldn't go into too much detail, just like basic strats and stuff. So, first off is Bigfoot. Now in Bigfoot, you can do restart strats. With some bosses and stages in this game, when you restart it saves IGT. This is one of them. So as long as you restart within the first 0.85 on the timer, you will be saving time, like in-game time of course. In RTA you're going to be losing time. So when you restart in this fight, and in other fights as well, Omochao spawns. Now Omochao doesn't really normally do anything negative to you, but in this fight, and also I guess Hotshot and Flying Dog as well, he can do stuff that harms you. For example, in this fight, this box, and any other boxes, Omochao can hit them and break them. Now the idea of the fight is that you jump off the boxes to hit him. So if Omochao breaks the box, then that sucks, and you have to go and use another box, and it's really slow. So you don't want that to happen. Now, obviously you could just not restart and you don't have to deal with this, but if you do want to restart, there are two strats you can use. One strat for this fight has Omochao break the box almost every time. The other strat doesn't have him break the box ever. So this is the normal strat. So you start off the fight, you hold up, you homing attack forwards, you end up next to that box. How do I go back? Okay, I'll just do that. You end up next to this box, and then you just jump onto it, and then jump at his head. Don't homing attack him. If you homing attack him, that's awkward. It's completely unnecessary to do that. Now, once you land from the first hit, the fastest way to build speed in this game, like from a standstill, if you don't want that much speed, is to just do a somersault. And jumping out of that, like somersault jumping like that, gives you so much speed so quickly. So you can use that to get back onto the box and then jump off the box to hit him again. Now you might have heard it then. That was the sound of Omochao breaking the box, because this is the normal strat. This is the one that everybody does, and it always, well, almost always has Omochao break the box. At least from my experience. As you see, like the box isn't there anymore. So that's annoying. For the third and fourth hits, you just repeat the same method of somersault jumping. So I try it again here. Do the same stuff again. But again, Omochao breaks the box. And I'm sure there are ways of like changing this a little bit to make him break the box less often, but he generally seems to do it for me every time with this strat. As you see again there, he broke the box. So the strat that I use, which is one where he doesn't break the box, is that at the start, instead of holding up, I hold like up left, usually a bit more than this, but this works, I guess. So you're homing attack into the close box. So Sonic hits this box, he like gets stopped by it. Then you do a bigger jump on top of this box, and then hit him in the face. So I'll play that back again. Like that. And then you do the rest of the fight the same. Just somersault, jump, jump. Yeah, that's basically it. Doing this strat essentially never has Omochao break the box. I've had it once or twice in my life. But that might have just been because of me messing stuff up that I didn't know about. So Bigfoot's pretty simple. As long as you can do the somersault jumps and like, as long as you can hit him for the first hit relatively quickly, it's a pretty easy boss. So next up's Eggman 1. In Eggman 1, you just want to hold up and then hit B a bunch, like with the rhythm. That's really the most there is to this fight. I walk up to him and punch him for the last hit. You could just shoot him. Punching him is pretty easy though. I like to do that instead because it's easier. It doesn't really matter, it's a pretty easy fight. You shouldn't get a worse time than like a 13-14 unless you mess something up. Alright, so Shadow 1. This is a pretty complicated fight. A new strat was found by Onvar recently, and that strat lets you do this fight without any RNG, because beforehand there was RNG on whether he was going to jump or do a big jump, because he could do a little jump where it doesn't lose you any time, or he could do a big jump and try and homing attack you, which lost you a bunch of time. So with this strat that doesn't happen. Now, this example is from after a restart. The fight's a bit different after a restart, not enough to where the strat's different, it's just the camera's a bit different, so if this looks weird to you, that's okay. You know, it doesn't really matter. So you walk towards him. You have to hold up left before a restart. You walk up to him. Now, you start holding B. In the period before your spin dash comes out, when you're holding B, you have a period known as storage, and you can hit him in that period. So we're holding B to hit him, and then we continue holding it until the spin dash comes out. Like that. Then you let go of the spin dash and jump. You're trying to get away from him in this part, because if you're too close to him and you're somersaulting or jumping, then he'll be like, whoa, there's a threat, and then the RNG will be called and he'll either do a small jump or a big jump, which is what was happening before to us. But now, by spin dashing away, that doesn't happen, he just stays on the ground. Then you walk up to him again, hold B to hit him, spin dash away, jump. Then for the last hit you can just hold B to hit him, you can do whatever you want for the last hit really. It's kind of a weird fight, it's difficult to get it down, I suppose. You can also do a spin dash at the start. So like here, you'd start charging your spin dash, and then you hit him about now. Like you just spin dash forward into him, and then unroll the spin dash, start holding B for the storage hit, then spin dash away again. It's a lot more complicated, and especially if you enable the inputs, might be pretty hard. It doesn't really save that much time, but if you're good at it, then you may as well go for it. So King Boom Boo, you can restart again in this fight at the same time. This one doesn't pose any risk. Omochao does spawn, but there's nothing for him to break. It's not really a bad thing to have him spawn. So the easy strat for this fight is just run away from him like this. And then once he starts throwing fireballs, you hit his ghost. You can jump or punch that. Then you go up towards him as fast as you can, dig him up, hit him, and then just hold up left-ish and try and hit him here. The last hit's really free. For the other hits, you might like be wary about the camera doing weird things, especially at the start. So like the first hit here, the camera's kind of a bit shaky. It doesn't really stabilize until about now. What I like to do is I like to go further in, like inwards on the circle, like the platform, to gain more speed, like get closer to him, and then go more towards the middle of his body. Because the further left of his body you are, it appears that the camera likes to do weirder things the further to the left you are, once you hit him. So as you can see, the camera's not really messing it up at all. Like I hit him, the camera stays behind me. If you're to the left, the camera might do a 180, or just do whatever it wants, and if the camera does something and Knuckles' momentum is affected by that, this one cycle is probably not going to happen for you. You can mess up a bit and still get the one cycle, but it's very difficult to do. Obviously for the last hit I'm really far to the left, but it doesn't matter because it's the last hit. Now this is the more complicated strat. I wouldn't recommend learning this until like you want to save 5 seconds off, until like that's a decent deal for you. What you do is you hold up left at the start, glide towards him, you bait him out, he's going to try and bite you, then you just hold back to run away from the bite. Then you hold up and right into the corner, you're trying to dig there. It's kind of a precise spot to dig into, and this is like definitely the hardest part of the trick is this dig. You're trying to dig like about there, past this vertex, past like this wall, but like kind of there. Yeah, there you go, like that. So you just dig into this corner. If you do it correctly, the camera will flip and Knuckles will be behind him. If you do it incorrectly, then Knuckles will still be on the other side. Now as soon as you land here, jump and dig again. Then at the peak of your jump, from that dig, like the peak of Knuckles coming back up, dig again. Then at the peak of this jump, hold upright, wait till you land, then punch. And that gets you the hourglass. It's a really weird and complicated trick. There's a lot of steps to it that you can mess up. If you mess up like a little bit, then you might not be able to punch the ghost and you just lose a bunch of time. But obviously if you're consistent with it, then it's free. This baiting him out at the start, you can bait him out like this and then do the normal strat where you like hold down right and then follow him around. This saves about a second or more, maybe a bit more than a second, I'm not sure, but it definitely saves time to do that. It's not really hard either. But as you can see with this strat, with the what it's called as a fireball skip, you get a 39 pretty easily, whereas with the other strat, you can't really see it because I restart, but you get about a 44 with the regular strat. Okay, Egg Golem. I'm not going to talk about the easy strats, I don't really know them. You can just go behind his back and do it casually if you don't want to do super bounces. If you want to do super bounces, you're going to light dash through this ring at the start, because that puts you at the back of the platform pretty quickly. And then you charge a spin dash, and then you do a bounce. Then you hit him. You charge a spin dash, bounce, hit him. He might punch you at some point during this. Like, that's just kind of how it is. There are ways of avoiding getting hit, but it's not really worth doing. With the super bounces, if you mess up any of them, just keep trying to do them. Or if you end up behind him, it might be worth just jumping up him if you're there already. It really depends on how confident you feel with this maneuver. For example, I feel fine just doing 3 in a run. Other people might feel fine doing 5 in a run. 5 is the fastest way to do it, I think. Or maybe 4 is. 4 might be faster for story style. Because you can do 3, and then if your 3 are really fast, you can do a 4th right here while waiting for him to slam his head down. And then hit him here for the final hit. But obviously because I did 3, that's the 4th hit. This 4th hit here it's not hard. The next one I'm talking about. This. Just make sure you're far enough to the left that he won't headbutt you. And then homing attack him. You have to bounce more than once to get the extra height from the second bounce. Now after this, you can just, I'm pretty sure you can just run behind him and jump up him, but this is pretty easy too. Just stand on his arm, try and make sure Sonic doesn't fall off the arm, then just spin dash jump, and you'll hit him. It's not really a fight that can be explained that well. The inputs are pretty tricky, you just have to get a feel for it yourself. There are other strats you can do, like involving his arms and stuff. There's loads of funny things you can do in this fight. Now, the timer stops when he dies. The timer also stops when you die. So if you die, like this, the timer stopped, but he's still dying. And now he dies. So you just saved like 0.4 seconds. IGT. There. Alright, so this is a pretty easy fight. Again, there are 2 strats for this. I don't know the baby strat, but the hardest strat is really easy too, so it doesn't matter. You just neutral stick, and then as soon as the fight starts, it's like a high 7 is when the fight starts, or like when your movement's free. I did a bit late here, but just neutral stick, jump, glide, and dual drive onto her head. Then, if you want, you can go and get a ring. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so you just glide, dual drive, get a ring if you want. Wait for her to be vulnerable again. Dual drive her, and then just spam A and B. Don't hold straight up though, hold like up and a bit of an angle, like I was there, doesn't matter what angle. If you mess it up, and she like starts doing attacks again, just let her do a 3 kick combo until she goes up into the air, and then when she's in the air, just hit her, and then spam A and B again, and the fight should be easy. This fight's another similar fight to the last one where you just need to know the strat and be able to do the strat. And if it goes wrong, you'll lose a bit of time, but it's not really a big deal. So you hold sort of this angle. Anything out near this is good. Then just shoot. He'll always walk this way, so you should always like intercept him with your shots. Now once you've hit him, just stand still, let him shoot you. Then face him and shoot him. Right? So at this point, he's going to try and do the laser, like the massive fuck-off laser attack. And there's this canister that's rising up. Now, he's close enough to the canister to get hit by it, so are you. But you just got hit, and like you can avoid it, so it doesn't really matter. So what you do now is straight after hitting him. I'll let this play again to make it easier to see. Do the first hit, get a hit, shoot him again, then straight away you want to lock onto this. As you see, I jump behind and lock onto it. Then he fires the laser. I get out of the way of the laser, and that blew up and hit him. And then you just wait for him to be vulnerable again and shoot him. It's a bit finicky. If you're too close to him, you'll punch him, and things can go wrong like that, but you should be okay. Alright, this fight. This fight's extremely easy unless you go for silly strats. So, there are these, like, ledges. Well, not ledges, but there are clear, like, cuts between the different platforms here. What you want to do is make sure Shadow is well over one of these before you hit him. So, at the start of the fight here, I wait a bit, then I hit him. I wait until he's over the line. Because if he's before the line here, as you can see, the platform's falling. Like, this platform's falling down. And if Shadow's behind that and he's falling down with it, that's like super bad. Because unless he manages to get back up, he's going to do Chaos Control and then respawn like all the way up there. And you lose loads of time. And also, you might die. If you can't get back up onto this ledge, then you have to restart the fight. It's awful. So what I do is I go towards the right. If you try homing attacking him from like anywhere around here, it doesn't work. Like, Sonic will just trail behind him. If you do it on the left, it can work. But if you do it on the right, it's completely safe and works every time. So you just hit him 3 times like that. You wait till he lands, you homing attack him once, then again, and then there's a vulnerability period here. So just hit him between when he homing attacks and when he lands. And then just do that 5 times. There are other strats you can do with bouncers here, but I mean, you don't really need to do them. It doesn't save much time, and it's the end of the run. You don't want to be doing silly stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. That's all I really have to say. If there's any questions, just leave them in the comments. I know I didn't really go into much detail on some of the bosses, like Egg Golem. I feel like it needs its own video, if anything. But I don't really want to go into that much detail on it. It's just a boss fight that you learn more by doing it yourself than by listening to anyone else talk about it. So I hope that was helpful. I might do some more tutorials on like individual stages and stuff in the future. Hopefully ones where I talk less, because this is pretty long.